Alrighty, so it is now 6:30, and we'll call meeting to order and with roll call.
Dale Hughes, Don Bagley,
Here.
Chris Cox,
Here.
Bill Hoffman,
Here.
Susan Alshire,
Here.
Landon Bagley,
Yep.
Lynn Burns,
Here.
Brian Gaynor,
Here.
David Wilkins.
Present.
We can stand for the pledge of allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Review last month, that was 2 months ago, July 20th meeting. I'm going to make a motion to approve those meeting minutes. Unless we have any changes. So we have a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? All right, that brings us to the next item on the agenda, which is the request for conditional use to operate an Airbnb at 1017 East Booth Street.
Hi,
You're Randy,
that's me.
Okay. So we had already posted a notice of a public hearing. We've only had
I've received two comments.
2 comments, and that's it.
And those are from adjoining landowners, and the only comment that they had is they have no problem with the Airbnb short-term rental. They only were concerned about off-street parking, and I talked to Mr. Cable about off-street parking. It should not be parking on part of the court because it's too narrow for that, and he agrees.
So with that, we have anything?
Is that the little blue house right
It
there?
is.
Yeah.
It was pretty distressed when I've done a lot of work on the inside.
I just wanted the house I thought you was at.
What's that?
You must have.
I've put as much into it as what I've paid for
I
it.
can believe it. That's good. I'm glad you were able to rehab it.
Yep.
That's good.
So at this point, any comments from the commission members?
I don't see anything objective to it to see what you're talking about.
What was that?
I don't see anything objective to talk about for me.
All right. Do you have a motion to approve the request for a conditional use permit to be prepared by the city administrator and issued to Randy for Airbnb?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right,
That's it.
that's it.
I'll prepare the.
All that anxiety for nothing.
I'll prepare an actual permit for you.
Okay.
And I'll send it to you in the mail. And
Okay.
then Sarah will have some additional paperwork for the
Okay.
actual operation of it, but yeah, here,
Okay.
that's it.
Yes.
Where's Audrey Road 906?
Panther Ridge.
Okay, so it's
I live out Panther Ridge.
short drive.
Not far at all. About five to 7 minutes.
In case the police have to get in contact with you.
I'm pretty much there every day anyway. Yep. Okay.
That's it on that one.
Thanks for investing in Centralia. We appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate it. There's been a lot of interest from it. I mean, there's no place to stay. It's definitely not, I'd make more money off of it just renting it out as a house, but I think it's a need.
All right.
Good, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
So the next item on the agenda was the vacation of the city right-of-way at Southgate Street and Brook Street. And based on the latest information, we're gonna hold on that because it would not be equally divided amongst the four there, and we leave somebody out, basically on the corner parking. So we move that to the agenda for this evening.
Deal?
We need to go on there. Okay,
No, we'll just,
all right, then this brings us to the as may arise section of the agenda, and I believe we were going to discuss the fire code of 50 versus 30 at the North Point subdivision request from Darren Adams.
so, this would apply to any new subdivision. What we're actually asking is for the board to consider, looking at changing, recommending to the Board of Aldermen to change one exception on the International Fire Code that allows for 30 houses in a subdivision with a single entry point versus 50 that the county allows. I would like to get input from fire chief and the police chief before we move forward with any action on it, but wanted to get board input on that to see what your thoughts were.
I don't see a problem with it. Columbia does it, and I think we should.
No, Columbia is at 30.
When they
Boone
came back,
County does it.
right.
Columbia, I don't care what Teresa and them do. I care what the county does, and the county
The county, yeah. the
recognizes
county
it
does.
50, half the 100, which is not the International Fire Code.
Right.
So, yeah, you're right. I don't, although Columbia is Boone County, it seems like that when they run everything.
Oh, they try to.
So,
Well, since our adopted policy is to try to make things as close to the county and Columbia as possible, so that all the developers are operating in the same basic set of rules, yeah, I think it's worth pursuing.
Okay.
If I could make a comment. There is one thing I would say, if you're going to change it from 30 to 50, I think you ought to consider changing the lot size and making the lot size larger at that point.
is that what the county, what's the?
I don't know what the county does.
What's the county?
But the county, most of these have, that apply to the county are 2.5 acre lots.
Yeah, well, 2.5 acre lots in Centralia are pretty big lots.
Right, so I mean, but,
very quickly.
but I would certainly think that something more than what the minimum is required now should be considered to get more spacing between houses. If you're gonna relax one portion of the fire code, then allow more spacing between the houses in order to compensate.
We're gonna drive through houses in that same subdivision of the 50 that aren't on 2.5 acre lots.
What's that?
You're gonna drive through, because they're counted, if I'm correct,
There's
right?
12, there's
that are there.
So you're gonna drive through the 12 that aren't on 2.5 acre lots, so I don't know why we would mandate to the next person wanting to extend that to that kind of criteria.
Well, I'm not suggesting 2.5 acres, what I'm suggesting is something bigger, more than the minimum of 7,000 square feet for single family.
Well, I'm gonna guess that 38 houses out there is not gonna be, those aren't gonna be small lots.
Well, that's not, this is the plan.
I understand, it's
In
got 85,
phases.
it's got 85 in phases.
Right, but they're not gonna be bigger lots and only have 38 houses out there. It's going to be this in phases.
If they don't get the phases, it'll be bigger lots.
Well, no, he's proposing to do what he's got there.
I
Yeah.
understand.
And then he will just hold those lots until there is another entrance at some future date, which
Right.
I don't have a problem.
This proposal hasn't been approved yet,
No,
is my point. I mean, I don't know, this looks like to me it's gonna get to be,
We ran this by an engineer that had some interest in everything, and that was a comment he made about the size of the lots being so small. He said he's packing them in there, which makes it harder to do everything. Services, there's just a lot of questions that we have as utilities too, so.
I'm not saying that the lot shouldn't be, I get what you're saying, I'm just saying, I think we're assuming that this is what's gonna get, that we're looking at today. But I'm not sure what we're looking at today is something we're gonna reasonably decide upon, trying to work
But-
through and make fit.
well, let me explain to you how this works. With a subdivision plat, once you put the rules in place, you are obligated to approve a subdivision plat that meets your requirements. If he meets the requirements in every way, shape, and form, then you are obligated to approve that. If you don't, then he can sue the city and collect damages for that.
Understood.
So if you leave the lot size without changing the lot size, then he can come in there with 7,000 square foot lots, and he'll just leave more vacant ground until sometime in the future. But now you're allowing him to skate on the fire code, and so, you know, there should be some give and take on this.
What are the sizes of the lots in Green Gables that turn off?
Very big.
I think they're bigger than this.
someone that deals with it on a consistent basis, I agree with Don, the density and lot sizing is a concern, being that, trying to cram that many houses in that small of an area.
I would agree.
So even if it's bumped it to 9,000 square feet, something from a fire code and
Well,
spacing
I would
standpoint.
suggest 15.
Something,
100 by 150 long.
Yep.
It's 25 feet longer than where I live around right now.
Hold on, 150.
Mhm.
It'll be that, yeah.
So it's not
So
not
over that.
unreasonable.
Okay. I'll gather some more information, what we would need to do, and then,
Understanding your point, I get where your point is. I was on a little different thinking than where you're at, but I understand when you look at the whole thing, if you approve it, then you're tied to it.
You're tied to
I
it.
get, I understand that, but I'm not sure what we're gonna approve. It's my point, my thinking on the other side of that too. I understand what you're saying.
Well, I mean, if he brings in a proposal that meets the requirements, you don't have much choice.
right,
Talk to Denny and.
Yeah.
because if he's
Mhm.
trying to
I'll
cram
talk
that
to
many
Denny
lots in,
and
that's what
Bob
he's gonna, he's
and,
budgeting is gonna take to
the county
make
and
a
some
cash
more.
flow.
Well,
Think
and
they're
so
ready
bottom
for
line
that
is,
one.
you may have made a good investment.
Yeah.
I'm not the business.
Whether if it doesn't have good turnarounds, it'll turn into a cluster like a
Right.
couple of the other subdivisions we've had with that many houses back here.
Right.
Okay. All right,
Agreed.
get some more information before we bring it back.
That's all we had on that, right?
There's like 127 pages once that the county's got on their site. We can find exactly where in that it is that talks about the fire code and the
How it
number.
applies to lots of
Yeah,
others.
it just, it's,
How it references.
how it references what, so we just gotta,
Yeah,
I
okay,
found it, it's just having to hunt through that many pages to find the actual verbiage.
okay.
Is it easier to run through a hard copy?
It probably will.
You want to get one, Heather? Or,
I think he's looking at the county. code.
Yeah, I'm looking at the county
Yeah,
site
well-
where they adopted the fire code, there's amendments that are tied to it.
Do we have a
Because
copy
it
of
ties
the
to
county?
the fuel gas code, it's a whole bunch of stuff.
you have a copy of the code,
The county's code.
well, I'll give you the set page and section numbers that you can use as reference.
Sure.
So while we're gonna, is there anything else that you would like to bring up? New items or anything like that?
Where are we standing at, I've said this before and I'll say it again, where are we standing at, for this, since, state's already passed all the marijuana laws and all that, where are we standing on setting the city up for, with, zoning, so where they can go in and what they can have and how much they can have?
I'll have to touch base with Sydney, she was looking into it, and I will bring it back up and.
I think we need to start looking at it now as, until, not keep dragging our feet on this because we're gonna end up getting caught. And we're not gonna be able to do anything if they decide to put it where we don't want them to put it. So I think we need to start moving on that, start moving on that now instead of kicking that can down the road.
I agree.
Any other items? Motion to adjourn the meeting?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Oh, thank you.
Thank you guys.
So we'll do